Well, thank you, Gladys. And may I say first a very warm welcome to everybody who's joining us from, I guess, different parts of Asia and maybe even different parts of the world. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, and maybe even good evening. My name is Ronald, and I'm going to be the moderator for this event with the title Master Customer Journeys, not just transactions. How can we foster loyalty actually and lifetime value in 2021 and beyond? And of course, this is going to be an interesting session. For those who have tuned in and think they are at the wrong session, please stay. This is going to be a very exciting session. Right. My task is essentially to welcome the panel and to moderate this discussion. We have three very exciting panelists in the virtual room today, and let me welcome them, each of them one by one. First of all, we have Takashi from Japan, and Takashi is the country manager and marketing manager for Rakuten Travel. Who hasn't heard of Rakuten? Takashi, could you say hello to the camera and wave at us and say a few things? Maybe good morning or good afternoon.
Yeah.
Takashi.
So good. Hello everyone. So I'm Takashi. I'm as Ronald mentioned now, I'm head of marketing and Japan country manager for Rakuten Travel. So looking forward to enjoy the communication between the panelists in this session. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome, Takashi, and I've of course become a member of your platform, and I'm charmed and amazed by the different types of activities that Rakuten is doing, and I really feel connected to a world of special offers and opportunities, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Next, we have Yousaf Rizvi, CEO and founder of checkin.pk. Where PK stands for Pakistan. Yousaf, it's still morning for you, but could you say hello to the audience, wave at them, and briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yousaf Rizvi. I'm the CEO and founder of checkin.pk, which is Pakistan's first online travel company. And so what keeps me up is the fact that we want to make sure that we bring people in Pakistan online while planning their travel.
Yeah, great introduction, Yousaf. Thank you for that. And last but not least, we've got Parthivan. You are the CEO of Tripcart Asia. I think you're based in Malaysia. Tell us a little bit about your very inspiring platform, Parthivan.
Thank you, Roland. I'm going to keep it simple and say good day, and thank you to the organizers for having me on board. I'm CEO and one of the co-founders of Tripcart Asia, and our vision is basically to use effective tech models that are already being used to create impact in different industries, introduce it into the tourism industry. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Parthivan. And of course, I have visited all the platforms, and it's maybe inspiring for the viewers to know that each of the platforms are in similar industries and yet have also some unique features, which we're going to deep dive later into. Especially how, for example, different type of offers are generated, for example, for families, for people who look for outdoor events. Parthivan, I'm sure you're going to share a couple of examples of that. Yes, thank you for the introduction, gentlemen. It's time to get serious. Are we all ready for some inspiring questions?
Sure.
Yeah. Good to hear. All right, maybe first, starting with Takashi, I would like you to tell a little bit more about the platform. What does it do? When was it started? And are you targeting local, regional, or a very global audience? Takashi, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ronald. So let me introduce our Rakuten Travel and of course, and also the Rakuten ecosystem. So Rakuten Travel is a kind of online travel agency that is a part of the Japanese, the largest online platform that called the Rakuten ecosystem. We call the Rakuten ecosystem. So this Rakuten ecosystem is formed by various services like e-commerce, and the payment, the digital contents, or the mobile, so offered by various Rakuten group companies. And the important point is that it is connected by one single Rakuten ID and Rakuten point reward system.
Right.
So by
yes.
this, yeah, and this ID and point system that the customers who belong to our ecosystem enjoys a non-stress online experience. For example, if you, like the Ronald, the book hotel on Rakuten Travel platform, so you can earn Rakuten point as a compensation of checkout, and you can use this point for the shopping on our Rakuten e-commerce platform or payment for offline to buy something at a travel destination. So this kind of very smooth experience during traveling is our strength and Rakuten Travel. So this is a brief introduction of us.
Yeah, Takashi, very clear, and thank you for that. And yes, I noticed that it's sort of like a seamless experience from moving from the travel part to the more shop-oriented part. And I don't know how you guys did it, but one of the first things that I saw was a travel bag. I won't mention the name today, but it's the one I always wanted to have. And I went like, wow, interesting, yeah, inspiring. Thank you, Takashi. I want to go to Pakistan, and I tell you why. So I'm going to invite Yousaf to answer a few questions, because I went to your website and I think I saw a couple of pictures of Pakistan, and I'm in love, man, with the nature and the landscape and the travel that you are able to offer there. So Yousaf, over to you. Could you introduce your platform a little bit more? When did you start, and who are you especially targeting with your platform? Over to you, Stan.
Thank you very much for visiting our platform and promoting Pakistan. I think what our intention initially was the fact that we wanted to make sure that we bring the online experience for people in Pakistan, because primarily most of our market is offline at the moment. Even if you look at airlines, their sales directly from their websites. So primarily the business is offline through travel agencies. So we wanted to bring this experience with them, and also to allow people from abroad to use our platform to book tours inside Pakistan, because Pakistan is opening up as a tourism destination. Our e-visa policy is very convenient, so people can just apply for a visa online, or we can help them do that. And the fact that Pakistan, during this COVID problem, you've seen that yesterday Economic Forum dedicated a day specifically for Pakistan. So we've had, thankfully, some good news coming in from around the country about Pakistan, which has helped in domestic tourism. And that is what has happened in this time as well. So checkin.pk primarily focuses on booking domestic tours. It focuses on booking international travel. Domestic travel, we're looking at adding insurance, domestic hotels as well. And as the whole industry starts to grow domestically and internationally, we want to make sure that we are upgrading our platform for next year when things improve, inshallah.
Yeah, great. We will talk a little bit about improving next year in a little bit later on. But thank you very much, Yousaf. Very clear. I would like to go to Parthivan, to Tripcart Asia, and Parthivan, tell us a little bit more about the platform. When was it started? Who are you specifically targeting? And what's unique about the platform? Over to Parthivan.
Sure, thanks. So we are a travel technology platform that is looking to innovate the way attractions and activity tickets are distributed. We have been around since 2018, and over the years, we have been helping from big theme parks to smaller experience activities to effectively sell and market their offerings to B2C and B2B channels. So what you see on Flipkart.Asia website is our own B2C channel. So currently we have a strong presence in Malaysia, and we were looking for regional expansion this year. But of course, with everything going on, I think that's something that we're going to do next year. So to sum it up, what we do is we meet activity providers and educate them on the need to engage effectively with modern channels. You know, they are so used to traditional, conventional travel agents, which is awesome, right? But there are going to be a lot more modern platforms that is going to start distributing tickets, your e-wallets, your super apps, your OTAs, and all that. And these players are going to be your modern travel agent moving forward. But you have to change your model a bit. You cannot be using old inventory-based ticketing where you have to bulk buy, pay in advance, rigid cancellation policies and all that. So that's basically what Flipkart is bringing to the table. We are providing an inventory-less ticketing solution that I believe provides like a seamless, flexible, convenient model moving forward for the travel industry.
Yeah, Parthivan, thank you for that very clear introduction, and great that you already in your introduction also introduce what are some of the trends that are happening, which makes it important for a platform like yours to differentiate. When I was scrolling down your platform, I sort of was really inspired by the fact that you make it very easy. 3 steps. Tickets are on the mobile phone, for example. And maybe later on we can talk a little bit about that customer segmentation, because obviously what comes out in your platform very strongly is that you've got so many different experiences for people. So I found that very inspiring. All right. Question number 2, and this is actually a little bit of the elephant in the room, but I think our audience might be interested in it still, because yeah, we're nearing the end of 2020, and boy, what a year it has been, right? We started, I think, all relatively well, and then somehow COVID-19 happened, and we had a little pre-discussion among us before this event, and I realized that each of us, in a way, has been affected by COVID-19, our markets, the business that we're in, and I think it's good for the audience to make them understand a little bit what was the impact of COVID on your customers, and of course, more importantly, what concerns and questions did customers have, especially because of COVID-19. So maybe, Parthivan, why not start with you? So specifically, COVID-19 happened. Could you describe a little bit the situation in your country, and more importantly, what did customers started to ask you? What concerns did they specifically have, and how did you react on that, Parthivan?
Yeah, sure. I think affected is a gross understatement when explaining how the travel space has been affected by COVID itself. Even as we speak now, most parts of Malaysia is still under somewhat of a lockdown in terms of domestic travels. We cannot go from one state to another. But one thing that did come out from this whole situation is to look into the legacy practices used by attractions, by travel agents, by OTAs. So reports were coming out indicating that more than 80% of customers complained during the pandemic was due to non-refund policies, pre-cancellation, and they were not getting their money back. It was, in fact, it was such a big issue that it went into some of the issues that was brought up in the Malaysian cabinet. But this issue, it did create an opportunity for Flipkart, as even before the COVID situation, we were the only service in Malaysia that provided a full cancellation and change of dates policy. No questions asked. We didn't even want to know what was the reason. And our customers and partners loved this feature because it became such a crucial, important thing that was part of the offerings. So, and my understanding is, I mean, we're in a business where you have to convince customers to book in advance, sometimes months before a trip. You do not have a choice but to ensure that this is part of a customer experience.
Yeah, very clear. Yeah. So in a way, you were to some extent already prepared for COVID-19 in the sense that customers were asking for this refund, and you already had that policy in place.
Yeah. Somewhat prepared. Of course, nobody is prepared for COVID-19.
Yeah, sorry, and I should not laugh because this is obviously is a very serious thing, and I think in a way all our lives are affected, and that's indeed an understatement. But yes, indeed, some of us had maybe elements in place already on our platforms, which is why we were able to run faster than others. So Parthivan, still with you, because I just wanted to ask, besides what you mentioned, was there something specific that you were almost like forced to do differently, or forced to sort of like rethink for the future? So Parthivan, still for your platform?
Okay, I mean, one of the first things that changed from our initial plan was regional expansion. So we had to put that in hold. We had to look at, I guess, developing some of the in-house technologies that we've always wanted to do in place. So then this, I would say, the slowdown kind of accelerated a lot of things that we initially wanted to do. The features that we wanted to bring in, the seamless experience between. See, there's a lot of stakeholders in the travel industry. You have the merchants, you have the service providers, and then you have OTAs, you have the customers. So this experience has to be seen. This is what basically Tripcart is trying to do. For the past eight months, I think we did take a lot of opportunity from that to really look into our technological offerings.
Yeah, we can maybe in the later questions around loyalty specifically also explore some of these. Parthivan, thank you for that explanation. Back to Yousaf. Actually, Yousaf, your platform very much focused on travel to Pakistan, but very much also to a Pakistan market. Could you explain a little bit about your market, what was going on with COVID, and especially what concerns, questions did your customers have, and how were you able to react on these requests and concerns? Over to Yousaf.
Yes, pandemic, everybody has faced this. I think it's a global phenomenon. And same happened in Pakistan. So flights stopped operating out of Pakistan in end of March when the lockdown was implemented by the government. But the government has been really been credited for the fact that they have tried to contain the spread of the virus, as well as make sure that the economy does not get affected. And this has been recognized globally, as you must have read around the world. So, but what happened in our case was the fact that airlines, what they decided to do was, because they stopped their operations, they stopped refunds as well for agencies. And based on that, there was a huge issue with IATA. With IATA was asking air people to pay, agencies to pay directly to them and do not deduct any refunds. Now, this created a lot of pressure on the part of Pakistani agencies, and I'm sure agencies around the world, which had to pay upfront in advance, whereas they could not get their refund back from the airlines. That created a lot of trouble in terms of from our suppliers, from our partners, from customers, because if they're corporates and they're working with you on credit in smaller terms, then you have a lot of problems that you have to face with that. So it was a tough time, people asking us for refunds. We had to talk to the airlines, we were adjusting them. And thankfully, this has created a lot of opportunity for us in terms that people have realized that we have taken care of them during this pandemic, creating a better environment for them to travel with us. So this has created a lot of trust in our agents, in our customers, because of this pandemic.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Yousaf. It sounds like to look things also maybe a little bit more on a positive side, that COVID does give sometimes also an inspiration or the need to innovate faster and to change some market practices. Yeah, and it's good to hear that you've been able to react on that. Thank you. Yeah. we're going to Takashi, because I want to hear how COVID affected Japan, but especially what questions that customers came up with, what concerns did Rakuten travel customers, for example, specifically had, and how were you able to react on that? Takashi, please, over to you.
Sure. So, so COVID-19 made the huge impact for Japan travel industry, and the same as other regions. From March, so travelers stopped enjoying traveling, but fortunately, so now the travelers' demand is coming back for especially domestic travel. Unfortunately, not international travel. One challenge during this COVID-19 situation is adapting the customer new demand. So like person or Yousaf mentions, new kind of the demand of travelers during COVID-19 happens, like the cancellation policy, which so you already mentioned. But yeah, I'd like to focus on another type of the new demand under COVID-19 situations. So almost travelers want information that so they can have travel with the security or safety. Such kind of information, is people's the travelers' demand. So as a responsibility of the platformers, so we are the kind of the number one the platform in Japan markets. So the actions of these travelers' needs. So we prepared kind of the template of countermeasures like the temperature measurement or sterilizations or ventilations of guest room, at which the hotels that belong to our Rakuten travel platform that for infections of COVID-19. So by these kind of actions, the user can select the hotel easily with safety or secure information. And we can have transparency of the information that the hotel does as an effort of avoiding the COVID-19. So this kind of actions is, I think, new type of the actions during COVID-19.
Yeah. Takashi, thank you very much for that addition, because obviously I think the refunds is almost like a no-brainer in the industry. It's a must-have as a way to reassure travelers that they can book, and if the situation changes, their money is still in a way safe. But you indeed highlighted a different aspect, which is more the emotional aspect to travel. And when you say security and safety, I understand that you talk a lot about ensuring that travelers are aware of what type of actions the hotel are taking, what type of actions they themselves can take to do safe travel. And I think you indeed mentioned a very, very important word, which we probably see later as well, is that word of transparency, where people in a way trust your platform it takes to travel safe, and what the hotels have done to be safe. Yeah, thank you very much, Takashi. Which brings us a little bit to the next question, which is a little bit related to mastering the customer journey. And I'm sort of like interested to see how, in a way, a better customer journey and what you're implementing has improved the customer loyalty. So maybe in general first, what we already explored a little bit, what are some of the elements that are implemented in 2020, right? But are you able to tell us a little bit more how the customer journey is going to be enhanced in 2021? And maybe first, Takashi, since we have you, Rakuten, what's the customer journey like, and how do you think it will further improve in 2021?
Yeah. So under the big competitions, honestly speaking, between OTS industries, so to be selected by customers, so making loyalty is a very important, I think, theme. And to be the loyalty, the customer journey is the kind of strong element to making the good loyalty of the guest for Rakuten Travel platform. So in our case, so as I mentioned at the beginning of these sessions, so we are belongs to the Rakuten ecosystem. And under this Rakuten ecosystem platform, so Rakuten Travel guests, the users can enjoy the non-stress the online experience so with using a Rakuten ID or Rakuten point system. And this non-stress is a very key theme to make the good customer journey, I think. And another point is, so on our Rakuten platform, so user can use one single ID system beyond various services. It means so we can have lots of the many aspects of the data of online activities of one single users. It means so you can offer the kind of the personalized recommendations for each customers, not only using travel data, but also another type of the shopping or payment data. So this data-driven customer journey, we called, is our strength and our strength. And in 2021, so this is a good thing of the COVID-19. So fortunately, as an online travel platform, so many the new users from offline to online is coming to our platform. So our big challenge is how we can welcome this new type of users. That is our challenge of next years. And I believe the Rakuten ecosystem resolve this challenge, and we can welcome tons of the new users to be the good users of Rakuten Travel.
You're ready for that.
Yeah.
I think. Thank you. I think we will talk a little bit about new users when we go over to Yousaf, but just for a few seconds. Thanks, Takashi. I think when I became a member of your platform, I noticed that in the beginning there's quite some information exchange, but you can see really that the platform is learning. And I think you bring up a very important point because I feel that if the system continues to inspire me with EDMs, the more relevant the suggestions are becoming, the more easier the platform is to use for me, the more inspiring it is, and the more I feel that the platform really understands me as a customer. So that data element and learning element, I think, is extremely important. So thanks for bringing that up, Takashi. I want to go over to Yousaf because Yousaf, you mentioned the last time we spoke very specifically about seeing new customers coming on board. So maybe first the original question, Yousaf, how do you see the ideal customer journey for your platform, and what is sort of like being implemented in 2020 and 21? Specifically, I think you mentioned that new customer group. Over to Yousaf.
Yes, so pandemic was good to us in terms of the fact that because of this requirement where people had to go online and they had no other choice because and the trust that we had built over time, use this opportunity to increase our sales. So in these time, what we've seen is that when we've actually started upgrading our platform because of this downtime is a great opportunity for us to do that. And secondly, what we decided to do is to work with our travelers, talk to them, understand what they really need, and then we try to offer them. For example, we decided to go with a hybrid where we were in touch with our customers, confirming them because they had questions about the fact what kind of tests you need when you want to travel, which laboratory is required. So in these kind of questions, either is the airline going to allow me to travel? What are the requirements? Is the airline actually flying from here now anymore? So these questions regarding previous refunds, so that we decided to present to our customers trust that they can travel with us without any concern. We will be with them. We will be on call. We'll be available, and we'll help them during this time. So we want to build that relationship, which when things improve, we want to make sure that these people travel with us again.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, thanks for that. And I think you brought up a very important point about people who previously did not use the online. Now they are, and in a way, some of these customers are really expecting a sort of personalized service as well, right? Or personalized. That's what they were used to. I'm sure your platform is moving into that more and more as well. Are there a few things you could mention, Yousaf?
Sorry?
Now, I was saying that some of the customers never ever booked online. They were used to book
correct.
Their
we
travel
had a lot
using,
of people.
Yeah. Using a one-to-one, they're used to a face, right? And then my question was just related to how do you essentially quickly get these people on board on your platform?
Exactly, because we have a big population here. Pakistan is among one of the third biggest countries in Asia, and I mean the sixth most populated country in the world. And 65% to 70% of people live in rural areas. So in these smaller cities where they live, they don't have they prefer this access of contacting the travel agency directly. By sitting in front of him, talking to him, he might be his uncle or cousin or somebody who they know through a common friend, and they will sit with him and they'll plan their journey. And we have a big travel here to the Middle East because of people going for work, people going there for business, people going there for religious travel. So what we're trying to do is during this time when they had to face these problems and a lot of businesses shut down, we tried to use this opportunity to solidify our position as a service provider, and people started coming online. They started calling us, and we started helping them to how to use the platform. And this is our plan. We want to make sure that we bring in this rural population, which is booking offline, to online as well.
Yeah, thanks, Yousaf. Very, very clear. Over to Parthivan, very quickly, the customer journey for your platform, and what is it that you are going to implement in 2021, as far as you can mention that to the audience. Parthivan?
Yeah, sure, thanks. Just to borrow the words of Philip Kotler, the marketing guru, I think we are living in an age of advertising overload and noise. Thousands of businesses are trying to find and be noticed at the same time, right? So mastering and increasing customer loyalty is becoming even more important now. And the cost of acquiring a new customer versus retaining a new one is only going to get bigger. And that is why I believe that brand loyalty has a lot to do with brand positioning as well. What your customers perceive your brand to be. So at TripCut, I think we would like to be seen as the most flexible, transparent, convenient engine. So these are a few things that we try to do to achieve that positioning. We have our own loyalty programs, of course, which gives points to customers when they purchase tickets. For any cancellation, we offer a full refund in points, and we charge a small fee if they want cash refunds, for example. But there are also a lot of loyalty programs out there. People don't even hardly remember to use the points or the rewards. So we have also partners with other e-wallets in Malaysia that allows us to exchange TripCut points with other e-wallets and vice versa, of course. And then of course personalization. Your messages. No two customers are the same, right? And that is why for the longest time, traditional travel agents were preferred. I totally agree with Yousaf when you say that. They used to personalize offerings, spend some time talking to their guests on their preference. So at TripCut, we try to achieve the same using customer profiling tools. And there are so many different demographics. Families with young kids, couples, group of friends, outdoor, indoor. Some people don't want to be outdoor. Of course, affordability as well. How much are they willing to pay for per pax? So this information is important for suggestions, upselling, deciding the kind of information you want to share with them. So I think to sum it up, I think loyalty is about clearly defining what your brand positioning is, the important features that really can benefit customers. Target them, get to know and personalize your messaging without too much of noise. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Parthivan, because to a large extent that actually answers one of the other questions I sort of had in my mind, right? Is that where is loyalty? How do we see loyalty evolving in the industry? And I think you already mentioned quite a number of points, the importance of indeed understanding the customer, the profiling part, using data. We also actually heard that from Takashi and from Yousaf. I think on top of that, we all of us talk a little bit also about the being relevant with the experiences that we are offering. I just want to ask you maybe one more question related to that, because when I go to your platform, I see actually an enormous wide range of possibilities, which is fantastic, but it can also be confusing, right? So as a first time, so maybe a little bit on that element of being able to present to potential travelers the right type of experiences. How do you do that for your platform?
So we want them to engage with us as much as possible as well. So we do have our customer service who just doesn't act as a support for your booking, but also to personalize or assist you with, if you have a plan, a short weekend trip. A lot of people actually come on board to basically ask for suggestions for 2 days. What can they do? Distance from each place, whether the place is safe for children, for toddlers, things like that. So as much as possible, we do try to somewhat personalized. This is something that we are definitely going to try to improve on with 2021 to try to capture that persona and then and basically show them that these are the suggestions, these are the safe activities for your group or your family.
Yeah. Thank you, Parthivan. Yousaf, very quickly, anything to add to that? Any thoughts in addition to what Parthivan already shared with us?
I think this pandemic has opened up a lot of opportunities. I think if these opportunities are not just nationally or in your own country, but it allows you to work with a lot of international partners as well. So I think what I foresee in the future is the fact that a lot of regional players, a lot of especially in Asian countries, should work together in building joint platforms and using each other's strengths to grow in their own markets as well as regional markets to become stronger players. With the leverage of technology which some have and the others which don't have but have a bigger market, just on our part, I'll be very open about the fact that we are also interested in talking to companies about the fact that we want to act not just as a Pakistan, which is one of the biggest countries in the world, population-wise, which presents a great opportunity, but we want to partner with our friends and other regional players in using this opportunity, this downtime, to plan for the future, which I think probably will return back to a slightly better normal next year. And inshallah, we hope for the best that it will be back to normal the year after.
Yeah, Yousaf, thank you. And indeed, thank you for that addition. I see you really being really passionate about the importance of partnerships and collaboration. And I think it's really in the spirit of being able also to offer a much wider range of relevant experiences, or even to develop or present an end-to-end experience where all aspects essentially could be booked via one platform or via the collaboration of. Yeah, thanks, Yousaf. Very quick, in view of time, Takashi, over to you. You already mentioned quite a number of points, especially the element around data and having a lot of data available because you have so many different products on the Rakuten platform. Takashi, any things to add to what was already said by the previous two speakers?
No, but so as Yousaf mentioned, so 2020 is a very challenging, I think, years for travel industries. But thanks for this challenging situations, we can get lots of new demand of travelers. So this new normal, to adapting the new normal is the challenge of the whole of the travel industry over the world. Yeah. So to connecting each other and welcome again the global travelers and so make travelers enjoy it again to beyond the countries, to enjoy the traveling beyond the countries. That is our, I think, or all of us, all of our responsibility as a travel, as an industry players. So I hope that 2021 is a good year for us.
I think we can all join you there. I think all of us around the world. All right, in view of time, we need to sort of like come to a closing, and I have two more questions left. And I think the first one is the easy one. Looking back to 2020, and I think we already explored some of these words, but looking back to 2020, can you describe in one word, ideally, what's important? And I start with Takashi. I think you talked about reassurance earlier on, but is there one word that is important to indeed bring that upturn about? So what is the one important word here?
Yeah, for the loyalty, so sorry, so it's very hard to select only one word, so let me use two words. So one is, the less stress experience. This is important. And another one is the trust. To be the trusted brand is an important thing.
Exactly. And I think last time we also talked about education is important, transparency is important, but okay, trust. Thank you. Yousaf, very quickly, what's that one word?
As we were discussed before as well, I think it's all about trust. It's about building relationships. It's about building a brand which you can be proud of, and building it slowly. So I think the core word should be to just hang in there, and step by step make sure that you pass on this time. We must realize this. That sorry, I'm just adding something to it. That this has been an unprecedented time for the industry in terms of the amount of people who've lost their jobs, the effect it has on economies around the world. So it is a pandemic which has affected the travel industry in a extent. It is like a tsunami to the tourism industry. So it is paramount for all of us to make sure that we build on slowly from here, and we develop the trust that we want to build on, and think hope for the best. And I'm very hopeful.
So trust, relationship, the brand, and indeed hang in there and building things slowly up. Thank you. Parthivan, your final chance to come up with that one or two words.
It's going to be hard to come up with one word to define 2020, but I'm going to go with.
Come on, you can do it.
I'm going to go with reassurance. I think it's about reassuring our customers as an ecosystem, in the travel ecosystem, the government, the suppliers, the OTAs, everyone that is playing a part, that we are all basically trying and playing a part to provide a safe, reliable travel experience.
Thank you very much. Last round, how do you see yourself, Parthivan? What are you? Are you a change agent? Are you I don't know, what are you?
So I would like to bridge the gap between technology and the tourism industry, to bring in seamless solutions to replace legacy methods. So a change agent, if I may.
A change agent, and maybe a champion for meaningful technology or something. Fantastic. All right, Yousaf, very quick. What are you, man?
Completely a champion for technology, a champion and a big supporter for partnerships, and a very progressive person. So perfect.
All right, Takashi, what are you, man?
I'm a kind of evangelist that how Rakuten ecosystem is good for the existing and future new customers.
An evangelist, what a beautiful term. All right, great. Guys, I think an audience, we're coming to the end of this session. I would like to thank the panel for their inspiring sharing. We see actually three platforms, all three operating in the travel and experience space, all three facing, of course, the effects of 2020, but all of us also looking forward to 2021. And I think all of you gave some really good pointers about how we see the importance of loyalty, the importance of the customer experience, and the importance of understanding our customers and being able to offer the right solutions for them. So I would like to thank Yousaf. I want to thank Takashi, and I want to thank Parthivan for your participation. I also want to thank the audience for being with us, and well, enjoy the rest of the seminar, or of the conference, I would say. So let's wave goodbye to all the participants, and thank you very much, and have a great rest of the year, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Hope we can meet at the Singapore in next year.
Yes, thank you for that. I so agree. This is fantastic, but meeting in person is even better. Yeah, you're most welcome. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.